Hello my friends, David Kessler here and welcome back to the studio for part 4 of my demonstration on painting a monochromatic painting. Obviously with this one we're going to use a blue family. So blue is going to be my monochromatic color. It's actually a blue family, not just one color. Be sure and watch videos 1 through 3 that got me to this point and explains more about the materials that I'm using, and you can also find that in the video description below. But my paint's getting drier, so I've got to paint. So let's get to it. All right. I'm just going to scrape in a little bit of visual texture here, since the paint's thick enough to do that. The thing I'm also going to do is come in here with my Marabou art crayons, and do a little bit of work in here with those. A lot of this will probably get covered up here in a few minutes, but it's good to get a little bit of this in here now. And remember, the paint's wet. Right, so I'm not going to get a whole lot of the art crayon on here right now. There again, it's just for a little bit of line work, that's all. A little bit of visual texture. Alright, that's good enough for right now. I may come back to that later. I'm going to get these caps on here so I don't forget what I'm doing. I don't want those to dry out. Alright, so I worked on this on the previous video. That's, reasonable enough. Now I've got to get in here and really get some work done. Like I said before, sometimes you just got to make some bold moves. And that's what I'm doing here to reestablish, some shapes in here. Note I'm trying to vary my brush work a little bit. Now, some more beautiful cool blues in here. This is kind of a mishmash here, so I'm going to try to clarify. I'm just going to simplify some of this. Usually simplifying is preferable to complicating things. Alright, one thing I've got to really do here is get some centers of interest in here. I painted over most of my scraping, so I'm going to reestablish some of that. Alright, so I've got to get a center of interest in here, or multiple centers of interest. So this needs to be really, really light value. Let's start here. Oh yeah. Oh, throwing my brush around. Woo-hoo. Get so excited. I'm going to take a dry brush, just blend this into the painting a little bit. Okay. Now this is a back and forth process. Any of you that paint know that. And it's always takes a little bit of time. To establish what it is that you're trying to do. You know, I've hardly even touched my indigo paint over here. Why have I not touched the indigo? That's favorite blues, and I haven't even hardly done anything with it. Tell you what I'm going to do. Got a light here. Ah, I didn't really mean to. Kind of like that. Ultramarine blue right there. Almost like a little piece of landscape right there. Put that in there. I'm trying to get this thing finished. Thick areas in here. Just working on, you know, establishing these centers of interest. Sometimes seems like one of the hardest things to do. I'm going to go back with some crayons because I've lost most of my crayon marks. Lost almost all my crayon marks, so I'm going to go back in here with a little bit of that. See if I can establish some of that interest. Use a light lighter one first, then the blues. And this, you know, kind of like everything else, is just sort of random placement, really. And I'm scooping up paint and kind of moving the paint around and all that. Okay. All right, so this is the end of video 4. And I tried to get this thing, you know, more or less finished. So what I'm going to take the time to do now between this video and number 5 is I'm going to sit over here in my thinking chair for a few minutes, take a look at it, see what I might want to change, or, you know, it may be okay to leave where it is and then look at it and change it at another time, or make modifications if needed after sitting with it for a few days. All right, so thanks a lot. Thanks for sticking with me. I know this is probably a long video. It seemed like it took forever trying to make some big wholesale moves on a paint, but sometimes you have to do that, you know, to get it from you know, an amalgam of middle value, as Frank Webb would say, into something that looks more reasonable as a painting. So thanks for sticking with me. Love you guys. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you on part 5 on the next video.